What's the number one belief that people have about themselves that is holding them back from success, and how can they change it?
Bro, I think the number one belief that people have about themselves, which is also a false belief, is whatever bullshit story either they've told themselves or they've been told by others about themselves. So maybe someone said as when you're a kid, oh, you're clumsy, or you're big boned and have bad genetics and you're fat, or you've never been that intelligent, you're never good at math, you're never good at, or you're shy. So they grow up and they carry that belief system. And it's like carrying an anchor tied to your leg. So now if you are carrying an anchor that's tied to your leg because you have this false belief system about yourself that someone told you. And guess what? Maybe as a kid you were shy. Maybe as a kid you were clumsy. Maybe as a kid you were chunky. All right, here's what's cool about the human body and the human mind. It's pliable. You can become anybody and anything you want with the right amount of work. Hey, there's some people that are genetically gifted and they're going to get there faster. They're more intelligent. They just understand things faster. They're more coordinated. They have the genetics to burn fat and build muscle. But then the rest of us just have to work harder, right? So you can change your story, but it's the story that people believe about themselves that then they create this whole belief system. Like, I'm clumsy. I'm supposed to be broke. I'm supposed to be blue collar. I have a learning disability. I've always been chunky, so I'm always going to stay chunky. No, man, you're just going to have to diet harder and train harder and figure out a set of macros that work for you. But when we have this false narrative that we believe about ourselves, it is like an anchor tied to your leg. Now, if you got the anchor and I don't, and we're about to have a 50-yard race, a running race, guess what? I'm going to win every time because you've got a 100-pound anchor tied to your leg. That is the equivalent of a false belief system, a story that you tell yourself that is untrue, that creates a false identity of, you start feeling like this is who I am. I'm unlovable, I'm broken, I'm not capable, no one wants me, just because you've either experienced that in the past, you've been rejected, you've been hurt, you've dealt with look, man, I was fucking molested by 2 older boys as a kid. Then I come to America after we escaped the Soviet Union and I'm bullied and beat up by gang members, right? Living in Section 8 housing. I grew up blue collar, like fucking worse than blue collar. I grew up broke in like fucking government assisted housing. I wore hand-me-down clothes. We found fucking shit in the dumpsters that we would take home and use, like a mattress and a broken up TV and whatever. So I share this with you because if my old belief system carried all the way to where I am today, I'd never be a multimillionaire. I'd never be sitting behind this microphone. I'd never have published a book. I'd never have created Fit Body Bootcamp. And I would never have done all the things that I did. I had to shed my old belief system, my old story, adopt a new identity. And I was like, all right, who do I want to be? You know what? I want to be financially free. I want to be fit. I want to be well-versed in terms of communication. English is a second language for me, bro. So if I said like, look, I'm a foreigner, an immigrant who's got this accent, who doesn't even know English, I had to learn the language and then get rid of the accent and then overcome the emotional scars that being molested leaves on you, that getting beat up by gang members in Section 8 housing leaves on you, and then re-identify, like you'll recreate an identity and then launch into life with that new identity. I'm fit, I'm athletic, I can do whatever I want, I can communicate now, I've lost my accent, I can develop and build charisma and confidence. I did all those things. Like, I literally built myself into the version of the man that I am. And so whatever your story is, it will create a belief system. The good news is you can rewrite your story, but it takes work. We rewrite our story by first identifying who do I want to become, and then doing the work, eating the food, lifting the weights, running the miles, reading the books, hiring the coaches, learning the behaviors and emotional disciplines and mental thought processes to become that person. And when you do, you've got a new belief system. And that new belief system is, I'm capable of doing whatever the fuck I want and achieving whatever the fuck I want in life. And therefore, I become unstoppable. So that's the one thing holding people back is their belief system. Is their story that they tell themselves. They don't realize that they can rewrite that story, create a new identity, and then live a life that's completely different than this mediocre peasant fucking beat up life that they're living now. Hey guys, quick interruption to the show. Let me tell you all about the Keuilian Wellness Shot. If you're like me and you care about your health, hydration, and building a strong immune system so you can stay active and you can get after it in life, then you want to try the Keuilian Wellness Shot. I used to take 11 different supplements in the morning, things like vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin B12, echinacea, ginger, and a whole bunch more. Now it's all included in the Keuilian Wellness Shot. I want to send you a 30-day supply for 50% off. Just go to Keuilian.com, use the code word Bedros, my name, to get 50% off. You'll also get free shipping. You get a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee, and $1 of every order goes to Shriners Children's Hospital. And when you use the code word Bedros and do the subscribe and save, which is a Keuilian Tribe program, every month you'll get a fresh supply of Keuilian Wellness Shots for an additional 20% off and free shipping, and $1 of every monthly order will go to Shriners Children's Hospital. So go to Keuilian.com, use code word Bedros, and take advantage of this amazing offer. Now back to the show.
Right. How did you start though? Because you basically, what you're saying is acknowledge where you are,
yeah,
but then write down, like literally design the man or woman you want to be, and then just do the steps to become it. But like, maybe it just sounds too simple. Like
that's it. That's what people do.
Yeah.
They go, this can't be true. It sounds too simple. Yeah. Let me tell you how simple it is. I looked at Jim Franco and I was like, Jim Franco was one of my first personal training clients when I was broke. Like around the time that I met him, I had just kind of gotten past the phase of life where I was working at Oz, the gay club, as a bouncer. And just months before working at Oz, I lived in my Toyota pickup for about 3 months because I used my money, the last of my rent money, to buy more supplements for this supplement business that I had started that had failed completely. So my identity was, at the time, the story that I told myself is, I'm not meant to be an entrepreneur. I tried, I failed, I lost money, I ended up living in my Toyota pickup, finally get back on my feet. Now I'm a personal trainer. Jim Franco was client number 4, personal training client number 4. And because I didn't have enough personal training clients, I also had a job as a bouncer at a gay bar and a dinner cook and busboy at Disneyland, a Carnation Cafe, right? Had to have multiple jobs to make ends meet. That was the identity that I had. And then once I saw Jim Franco pull up with like 3 different cars in 1 week for his workout, I was like, let me just, hey, Jim, why do you have 3 different cars? And they're all like nice cars, a classic car, a sports car, and a Cadillac Escalade. He's like, you can have as many cars as you want, kid. And that's how he talked to me, kid, right? And I was like, note to self, I can have as many cars as I want. I was like, hey, Jim, you show up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon 3 times a week. Like, are you retired? No, man, I'm the boss. I run my own company. I've got leaders and systems in place. And so I come in from 8:30 to 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon. In fact, when we went and we did that vlog, right, he's still on the same schedule, 8:30 to 2. He's 81 years old and he works by choice in his multi-million-dollar company. I'm like, check, let me write that down. 2 o'clock is when I want to be off, right? Because at the time, I modeled myself after Jim Franco. So much so that years later, I ended up buying a Nissan GTR, not knowing that he had one because we hadn't seen each other for a while. And then when I reached out to him one day and I'm like, hey, come over here, I want to put you on my show, the Empire show. He rolls up in a fucking Nissan GTR. Like, I started to operate, my brain started to operate like Jim Franco so much that I went out with the first like large amount of money that I made, and I wanted to buy myself a gift. I bought myself a Nissan GTR. That was my first $100,000 car, like my first 6-figure car. And so I share that with you because I just archetyped myself after Jim Franco. And then as I got older, I'm like, wait a minute. I think I actually want some more time off than Jim Franco. And I think if I get some stronger leaders, I can actually take a couple days a week off in addition to weekends if I want, and I can go surf. But I need to have great leaders. I need to be great at communicating because my biggest job is to be behind this microphone, communicate, orate, inspire, give you marching orders, tell you how you can get there and become the 2.0 version of yourself. And so I was like, all right, these are the things I want my life to look like. I want to do podcasts. I want to do Q&As like this. I want to make big, high-level decisions, but I don't want to be in the weeds. And so I'm going to get leaders. I'm going to give them equity. Like, I watched like what all the great CEOs out there are doing. They're giving equity to their great leaders so they can handcuff them to the business. And I was like, now, how do I want my body to look? How do I want my time with my family to look? Literally write it down. It sounds that simple. And then go, what would this guy do now? Well, he'd probably wake up at this time if he's going to do this. He'd probably eat this if he wants abs. He probably works out like this if he wants to be fast and broad shoulders and big fucking traps. Okay, what else? Well, if he wants to be a good orator, he's probably going to take some comedy classes and improv classes and Toastmasters and learn to speak and orate. Okay, so I did. I hired a coach. I got all the education. I went to the things. It's simple. Design, like archetype your ideal man or woman, and then go, what would they eat, drink, do, think, operate like? I even started doing shit like, where do they not go? Oh, they don't go to weddings and funerals of people that they haven't seen for a long time because they're no longer part of that friendship group. So why waste time? Oh, they don't party on weekends. They stay dialed in so that when Monday comes, they're fucking attacking a Monday. All right. So what am I not going to do? I'm not going to party. I'm not going to go to these goofy birthday parties where I feel awkward and I don't want to be there. And I'm thinking about business and creative things that I want to do. I stopped doing what that man would not, you know what I mean? Like what would that man do? How would his life look? Oh, he'd go to sleep at 10 p.m. He'd wake up at 5:30 in the morning. What else? And so everything that man would and wouldn't do, I just lived by it. And then you become that guy. It's that simple. But the human brain wants to complicate it so much and go, obviously it's much harder than that. Certainly it can't be that easy, Bedros. It's actually that easy. And when you complicate it, you end up fucking it all up.